This morning, trying to decide whether the woman is telling the truth about what happened 5 years ago when she was 16 years old with her teacher, Charles Yoakum. Now, the prosecutor describes this alleged victim as the perfect victim, depressed, in a dysfunctional family, not very bright. She was placed in a special education class at Northeast High, and she says she developed a relationship with her teacher, Yoakum, that progressed from kissing and fondling to several incidents of oral sex, and the alleged victim says she consented to these incidents there at the high school because she thought that Mr. Yoakum really cared for her. Well, Yoakum's defense attorney put dozens of witnesses on the stand to speak to Yoakum's character, students and teachers, and he did his best to discredit this victim, this alleged victim, saying that she has a history of lying and of bouncing checks. And Sally, you'd never guess who showed up here today at court, Lori Cook.
Ah, the teacher that was acquitted months ago.
That's right. She was one of the three. There's Ron Price, who was convicted, Lori Cook, who was acquitted several months ago, and now Charles Yoakum, the third teacher from Northeast High, on these same charges of sexual child abuse. And Lori says she just showed up here to offer him some support, but she wouldn't talk to us much more. And by the way, she's not back teaching yet. She's on administrative leave, we found out, while Anne Arundel County Schools still continues an investigation.
She would like to be back teaching, though, right?
She had always said that she loves being a teacher and she wanted to go back to teaching. But after that trial several months ago, when we asked her, will you get back to the classroom, she was very apprehensive. It's been a very trying period for her, and she told us today that she's still not over it.
Okay, thank you very much. Melissa Sander reporting live tonight from Annapolis. Sandra?
A routine evening turned tragic for a family in Severn last night when their toddler drowned in the bathtub. 19-month-old Marcus Price apparently slipped below the water when his mother left him alone for just a moment to answer the door. She sent the baby's sister to check on him, but he was already unconscious. Efforts to revive the baby with CPR were unsuccessful. A 26-year-old city woman is in shock trauma after being caught in a hail of gunfire last night. Shooting broke out just before 8 o'clock at the corner of Brighton and North Elamont. According to police, a teenager sprayed the area with bullets. One of them hit Jackie Perrin in the leg and severed a major artery. She's in critical condition. Police arrested two teenagers last night. They're still looking for another teenager reported to be armed with a large caliber handgun.
A TV weatherman in St. Louis delivered his final forecast and then took off on what appears to have been a suicide flight. Bob Richards was reportedly distraught over a court order to stay away from a woman he was allegedly harassing. After the 10 o'clock news on KSDK Tuesday night, Richards stepped into the cockpit of his private plane, climbed 400 feet, and then nose-dived into the runway. Bob Richards was 38 years old. He was married and had a 7-year-old daughter. It worked during the presidential campaign, so President Clinton is taking his case directly to the people once again. This time, the issue's Whitewater. The president's having a news conference tonight, and he made it clear questions about Whitewater will be welcomed. We asked some people in Baltimore what they would ask the president if they had the chance.
At the point, I wish there would be some honesty. I think if the American people were told the honest story, instead of hearing all the different rumors.
Now everybody's trying to cover that up. Hey, I didn't do it. Hillary did it. And that's bad. Now the man just giving her off on his wife. And he's the president.
The president's news conference will air tonight at 7:30, and of course we will carry it live right here on Channel 13. Now for a look. Oh, sorry, Sandra, you go ahead.
Now for a look at some of the other stories making headlines this Thursday night. A 34-year-old pizza delivery man was jumped and beaten last night in the 400 block of Montford Avenue. The attacker stole his car. Police are still looking for the car and the suspects. A former student at Towson State has been charged with setting fires in a high-rise dormitory last Sunday. 20-year-old Mark Rouleau was arrested today and released on $35,000 bail. American Jeep makers are about to get some competition from Russia. A tough little Jeep called the UAZ debuts next week in New York. The UAZ reportedly weighs about 5,000 pounds and drives like a tank. While as expensive as healthcare can be, some people complain about the high cost of getting copies of their medical records. Dick Gelfman says there are some things you should know about copying costs. He joins us now from Edit Booth 13, where he's working on the story for 6 o'clock. What should we know, Dick?
Well, you know, medical care today, obviously high-tech, very expensive, but the copies, unbelievable. You know, there are a lot of reasons you may need copies of your records. For example, you may change doctors, You may change insurance companies. You know, today with healthcare reform, the chance of changing insurance companies is a lot. What happens when you request some records? I mean, we decided to edit this with Mike Corcoran because he's been in every hospital. You've had every operation known to the person.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Just out of curiosity, do you know how many pieces of paper the average hospital stay generates? I mean, your last one was 100,000. I know.
It can be a lot.
It was
a whole lot.
It's about 500 pages for the average hospital stay. $2 a page if you want a copy in some cases, and that gets to be super expensive. So there's something pending that's going to try to cut the cost, and Mike and I are working on that package, which is going to try to establish what that is, and you may want to write into your senator or delegates to try to support the bill, because otherwise the costs are going to keep going up. We'll tell you more about that tonight at 6 o'clock.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dick. Well, is traffic taking its toll on the evening commute? Let's check in with the traffic team's Robert Altman for the answer. Hi, Robert.
Hi, Sandra. Well, no major problems right now. Northbound 95, 895 up through the 95 split. A little busy, as well as you make your way in toward the 95 corridor between Eastern Avenue and the usual slowdown in toward the 895 split toward the Beltway. Southbound a little slow in toward Caton Avenue as you head in toward the Outer Loop Beltway beyond 895 and 95 toward the Baltimore-Washington Parkway and I-97. Watch her slowing through Anne Arundel County. Inner Loop slows from Charles Street toward Providence Road. Also, as you make your way on the west side north of I-95 toward Wilkins Avenue, and on the Outer Loop toward 795 in from the 83. Sunshine definitely a factor there. One accident on the east side of the city over near Patterson Park, Baltimore Street and Collington Avenue. That's a look at the roads. Back to you, Sally.
All right, thanks, Robert. Now let's check in with Bob Turk for a look at what's happening with our weather here on Earth, along with news from the heavens. Bob?
That's right. We've got some incredible pictures for you stargazers out there. We'll look at the weather in a second. You're looking now at the first, not yet, but you're going to be looking at, there they are, the first ever photographs of an asteroid moon. They were taken by the unmanned Galileo spacecraft while it was on its way to Jupiter. The moon in the photos orbits a potato-shaped asteroid that the folks at NASA have named Ida. Ida. For years, amateur astronomers have seen what they thought were asteroid moons, but this is the official first time that they reported that they really exist. These are clouds locally, and you can see they're coming in our direction. If you're heading out tonight, here's what we expect weather-wise. Clouds, yes, they're moving back in. We saw some sun for the afternoon, but mainly cloudy skies. Temps mild, 60s to near 70 degrees this evening. Maybe a shower much later on. Sal?
Okay, thanks, Bob. It was one of the most talked about stories of the year. Yeah. And now that Joey Buttafuoco is out of prison, he's still getting lots of attention.
As we told you yesterday, Buttafuoco was released from jail after serving a 6-month sentence.
Right. To celebrate his homecoming right now, Joey's friends are throwing a big party in his honor at Cafe Testarossa in Syosset, New York. Restaurant owner Billy Sansone joins us on the phone live from the big event. Hi, Billy. How's it going?
Hi, how are you?
All right. This sounds like a pretty big bash you're having there at your restaurant.
It's getting really wild over here. I just tried to grab a little corner just to, talk to you guys for a few minutes. It's,
How many people are there?
I'm in shock myself. I never expected any sort of attention like this on this party. But
how many people are there? Do you know?
Excuse me?
How many people do you have there?
We have, well, right now it's probably around 150. We're expecting about 300.
Wow. Do you know the Buttafuoco? Go ahead.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay, listen, do you know the Buttafuocos personally?
I'm sorry?
Do you know the Buttafuocos personally? Have you met them?
No, I didn't. Well, I met Mary Jo. When she came in here, her and Dominic Barbara walked in one night, and they decided to, to try the food, and they loved it. They booked it right there. And see, the ambiance of this place is has that party, the party look to it. It's a big place. It's open. It's murals on the wall, murals on the ceiling, and it's a pretty active type of place.
Yeah. But as you know, Billy, the Buttafuoco story is at the very least controversial. How do your customers and neighbors on Long Island feel about what happened?
Well, it's strange in a way that what's happening is that we don't know Joey over here on this side, on this part of the island as much. I mean, we know of him like everybody else does through the news. I'm finding positive and negative about it.
Right.
A lot of people think it's funny that something like this can happen over over the situation. And then I get some negative people that think that why would you let this happen and this and that, and I handle it as I'm a businessman and I'm a caterer, and I just can't really, I can't really just turn some people down for, something of their past and this and that.
Briefly, just before we say goodbye, what are you having tonight? What's on the menu? Real quick.
I'm sorry?
What's on the menu tonight?
Well, tonight we're starting with hors d'oeuvres right about now. We're passing around like baby lamb chops that are served in a mint rosemary sauce. We have grilled shrimp and a caper dill.
Yeah.
We are moving, we have sauteed scallops with sun-dried tomatoes.
First class.
And that's in a lemon garlic. And also, and then we have a buffet that starts in about an hour. We have like 6 different buffets that are going on.
All right, we won't ask you to give us the whole menu for all those buffets. We really won't.
Okay.
Enjoy the party tonight.
Remember them anyway.
Okay, that's true. Okay, thanks a lot.
Still ahead of us at Eyewitness News at 5. Now and then we take a look back, and tonight we'll turn the clock back to show you some scenes of Baltimore you haven't seen in more than 30 years.
And last year, the Maryland Poison Control Center handled more than 34,000 calls. We'll tell you how to prevent a tragedy in your home. Also coming up,
the state Senate gives preliminary approval to welfare reform. I'm Suzanne Collins, live in Annapolis, and I'll tell you how they agreed to pay for Medicaid abortions, too. That's coming up.
Guess I'll take this one.
Do you like it?
My shoulder aches too much to try anymore.
Here, try on my Myoflex.
But the pain-relieving rubs I've tried really smell. Won't the grease ruin these clothes?
Myoflex has no smell. And don't worry, it won't stain the clothes.
No smell.
No grease. It's a vanishing cream that helps make pain vanish.
Myoflex Pain Relief penetrates deep. Myoflex, the vanishing cream that helps make pain vanish.
Let's try blouses.
First, we brought you mega values. Now at Timonium Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep Eagle. 3-day, all-out Chrysler Plymouth clearance. New Plymouth Sundance, $49 down, $139 a month. New 94 Plymouth Voyager minivans, slashed to $13,994. Even a huge selection of new 94 Wranglers, $199 a month. 3-day, all-out Chrysler clearance at Timonium Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep Eagle, York Road, north of Padonia. Hurry, sale ends 9 p.m. Monday.
Go ahead, shop all the other furniture stores, then discover the difference during the Dare to Compare sale at Value City Furniture. We're one of the nation's largest furniture retailers, and you won't find bigger selection, better service, greater values, or lower prices anywhere else, guaranteed. For only $398, choose from these beautiful modern, traditional, and country-style Krahler sofas. It's a fabulous selection in all the latest colors and fabrics. Your choice, only $398. Remember, when furnishing your home, Value City Furniture is the only place to shop.
Another safeguard season is here. Right now is the worst season for germs, when germs are spreading left and right. So safeguard against germs. Washing with Safeguard antibacterial soap eliminates 99.9% of germs you've come in contact with. So you can count on Safeguard to eliminate germs everywhere you wash. This safeguard season, safeguard the ones you love. Safeguard against germs.
A welfare reform bill got preliminary approval in the state Senate today. State House reporter Suzanne Collins is live in the Capitol to tell us how controversial amendments were added to the bill right before it passed. Suzanne?
Yes, Sally, this pilot program would include 2,000 welfare recipients who would have to get a job within 18 months after getting on welfare, or they'd lose those benefits. Also, statewide, if you had additional children, you would not get extra benefits. Now, the critical amendment that was attached today says women on Medicaid, or poor women, because of this so-called family cap, will get abortions paid for by the state if they choose to have one.
And if they're worried, and if they're particularly worried about how they're going to raise money to pay for it, then we are setting them up for failure in this program. I want them to succeed. I want them to succeed for the sake of the children that they already have.
Senator Paula Hollinger's amendment that the state pay for abortions for poor women raised the ire of some anti-abortion senators, especially when she contended it would save the state money.
We can bag about $4 to $8 million in savings, along with the bodies that'll be bagged. That's what this amendment says, and that's what this fiscal note says. And it's sickening.
One senator added the least represented would be the most affected.
Perhaps they are the invisible people to us, but they are real. They have names and addresses and lives.
The amendment to fund abortions with tax dollars passed 30-17, but not without a fight.
We're going to make sure if they have indiscretion one time, we're going to pay for an abortion. And next month, if they have another one, give them another abortion. And if they have one 4 months from now, let them have another abortion.
Another amendment would have allowed welfare mothers to still get increases in their checks if they have more children. Senator Larry Young explained his mother was on welfare and he might not have been born had that cap existed.
And I just hate the fact that we would put a cap on the good lady in that same hood who might decide that she wants that third child.
And that family cap was still in the bill when it got preliminary approval in the Senate. Sally, they should vote on it finally in the Senate either Saturday or Monday.
Okay, Suzanne, isn't there a provision that if child care isn't offered, the mother wouldn't lose benefits if she doesn't get a job within 18 months?
That's correct. And also transportation to that job would also have to be provided. And if someone was sick, they also wouldn't have to get a job within the 18 months.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, Suzanne Collins, reporting live from Annapolis.
Well, topping tonight's Health Watch report, a possible new way to find out whether a woman has breast cancer without surgery. It's still experimental, but researchers say soon a computer program will be able to analyze videotape of a woman's breast cells and estimate the chances they're malignant. Then the woman can decide whether the risk is worth the surgery.
Some women that will want a biopsy at a 2% chance, and others that will have a mass followed if there's a 20% chance. So their value sets vary tremendously.
The cells are extracted with a fine needle, and the computer program analyzes their shape. The program was adopted from one used to locate oil from geographic formations. Also in Health Watch, while it's true you have to play to win, you also have to qualify to play in the Special Olympics, that is. Everyone who participates in the Special Olympics has to pass a health screening first. That's why the Bennett Institute gave free screenings to about 1,000 potential Olympians from throughout the Baltimore area today. The games involve year-round training and competition. That's why the screening is so important.
It's so great, too, to participate. Well, they tell me they're hard at work in the Eyewitness newsroom right now. That's where Al Sanders is standing by. Al, is it true?
Sometimes. Thank you, Sally. Baltimore residents are keeping a close eye on events taking place thousands of miles away. We've been telling you about the increased tension between North and South Korea and the military alert. We'll hear from Baltimore's Korean community about concerns for their family. And is it really the MSG in some foods that makes you ill? The answer may surprise you. Those stories and more tonight at 6. Sally?
All right, thank you, Al. Kids in several Maryland neighborhoods will be receiving goodies thanks to some big business. All they have to do is go to school. McDonald's, McCormick Company, and Merit Racket Clubs are donating $70,000 worth of gifts to be split between a number of school districts. Everything from school supplies to food products will be used to help advance Maryland's school performance objectives. Volunteers of WJZ's outreach program will be separating and packaging the material. What do you have to say for yourself? Have you been busy?
Separate those hamburgers there.
Yeah, I bet you will. Nice job on the dogs yesterday. They were good. You really did a nice job. We
You survived those hot dogs?
Well, actually, I didn't eat mine, but Sandra loved hers.
She's being honest.
Really she ate mine, too. I did not. Don't tell those people that.
77 degrees. Humidity at 37% because the dew point's 49 degrees. Wind southwest 14, barometer 2980. It's on the way up, although the clouds are coming in. The air quality was in the good range at 38. Yes, thank you very much. Ties tomorrow. Sunrise, 6:03 sets at 6:23 on Maryland Day and my mom's birthday.
Do you know me? You may not recognize me without my hair. I'm Cy Throwing, Hair Club's first client. And since 1968, I've helped thousands of men with thinning hair. If you have thinning hair, this booklet is something you should have. It covers transplants, weaving, fusion, minoxidil, and proper hair care. So call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB to get your free booklet. You saw the difference it made for me, and look what it did for our clients. So call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB to get your free booklet.
Voices everywhere are singing our praises about the taste of giant touch of honey rotisserie chicken.
It's a honey
And it's yours for a song at $5.99.
Don't make me beg, give me an egg.
Here's important money-saving news from Dundalk's Don White's Car Center. 49 Down delivers every new and used vehicle in stock. New 94 Sundance, 49 down, $149 a month. New 94 Plymouth Voyager,